With the big story right now, Rhea Chakraborty, after being arrested around 3:30 p.m. in the afternoon, has been taken for a medical test to Sion Hospital. And at 7:30, which means just about now, she is going to be produced in front of a magistrate. The NCB has not, and that's going to be done via video conferencing. So she will not be physically present. She will do it via video conferencing. The first images that you see of Rhea Chakraborty as she was exiting hospital, there she was subjected to a COVID test, which was declared negative. Let's try and play out the reaction that we got from the NCB Zonal Deputy Director talking about the reasons behind the NCB not seeking custody of Rhea Chakraborty. She is in all likelihood going to spend the night in lockup. Let's go across to our reporter Siddhant, Tamal, Mohit, Wajiullah, all will join us live in just a bit. Let me go across first to Mohit and Tamal, who are live with us. All right, Tamal, to you first. Give us an update. What's happening?
Well, Padmachar, Rhea Chakraborty has left the Sion Hospital at about 7:20. So yes, she is expected to join the video conference meant for her first remand production before the Chief Judicial Magistrate of the CMM Court. But then, given the fact that there is some traffic, it seems like she could be late. Minded, she cannot do it over phone because her phone is not in her custody anymore. That must have been seized by NCB, given the fact that she has been shown arrested. She cannot speak to her lawyer over phone, which means she will have to wait to meet her lawyer in person at the NCB office before the production happens. And because this is a video conference production, at some point she will have to come in front of the camera before the Chief Judicial Magistrate and make her production certain. So because of all these reasons, well, I'm expecting Rhea Chakraborty will have no other choice. Even if there is a delay in production, the production will only be validated when she is taken back to NCB's office, and she, having consulted with her lawyers, the lawyer has managed to take her signatures on the legitimate papers, and thereafter the production will happen over video conferencing. We have been told the production will only happen from the NCB office. We are en route to NCB office. Rhea Chakraborty has left the Sion Hospital. She is also moving towards the NCB office, and Rhea Chakraborty's convoy is comprising of absolute police protection. We know there is Mumbai police giving complete security to her. Okay. There are NCB officials too. We know she has undergone the COVID test and the COVID report has come negative. So she will now be taken back to NCB office. And as you have confirmed to our viewers first here on Times Now, NCB will not be seeking for police custody, their custody. They would be asking for judicial custody. And the explanation they are giving is the fact that all those people who are connected with Rhea Chakraborty already arrested. Their confrontation with Rhea Chakraborty has already happened during the course of a questioning and examination.
More news coming in, and let me get in Mohit Sharma on this. Mohit, in fact, there is information that we just have. Tamal, in fact, if you could also take it forward. Information that has just been put about how the NCB arrested Rhea Chakraborty in the drugs case. 3 days of questioning, close to 19 hours, but what went finally against her? Tamal.
Well, Padmachar, Times Now broke it first as how there had been drug peddling that has happened, and that entire syndicate involved people like Showik Chakraborty, her own brother. Now, Showik Chakraborty is the person who has dropped Rhea Chakraborty's name. In what context? The context had been transactions, financial transactions with regards to procurement of drugs. Now, while those transactions have happened on the digital footprint, there had been credit card details of Rhea Chakraborty found. So basically, Rhea Chakraborty cannot deny that digital proof, and thus the section 27A of NDPS has been invoked principally to understand how deep-rooted the nexus is and how large had been Rhea Chakraborty's role in trafficking, illicit trafficking of finances.
The 27A section is very, very important because this is the most stringent section. It involves imprisonment up to 10 years and a fine of 1 lakh rupees. And the information being flashed right now by Priyank Tripathi is that Rhea Chakraborty was reluctant to accept her consumption of drugs. She finally agreed to using it when the NCB told her that there was an option of rehabilitation of drug addicts. Rhea accepted that she has been a user since 2017. it's around the time that she also went on to meet Sushant Singh Rajput. Yes, Aman, take it forward.
Well, that's right. So it's very significant, Padmaja. It says NCB arrested Rhea Chakraborty in the drug case. She has been reluctant to accept her of consuming drugs. Mind you, she has always been saying that she did not consume drugs herself, but was procuring them for Sushant Singh Rajput, something Sushant Singh Rajput's family had strongly, vocally, vociferously dismissed. At the same time, Rhea finally agreed of using it when the NCB team told her option of rehabilitation of drug addicts. So it seems like after 3 days of questioning, confronted with proof and valid proof, she finally agreed that she had consumed drugs. That's one. That itself is a crime. Second, Rhea has accepted it of using it since 2017.
Yes.
Mind it, she had all along maintained she has never taken drugs, but she has given admission to NCB that she had been using drugs since 2017.
Very, very significant. And let me also bring in Mohit Sharma on this. What was also very important was the seizure that was made from her house. Mohit.
Well, absolutely, Padmaja. Those seizures were really important because those were the digital, equipment devices which really gave the NCB a true insight into what exactly was going on. If you remember, Rhea and Showik had maintained that they were only using one mobile phone, and that was not clearly the case. There were, mobile phones also found during the NCB raid, and it was entirely based on that multiple evidences were gathered by the NCB, and these included, various chats and various transactional histories as well. We had told our viewers how there were at least 12 transactions made between Showik and Samuel Miranda, and all of these had to do with drugs. And now these, specifically were based on sale and purchase of drugs, how money was transferred to Samuel Miranda for, getting certain consignments of sorts, and which were then brought back into Sushant Singh Rajput's house. Now, all of that had been under consideration of the NCB. When Rhea Chakraborty was in fact countered with all of these, she did break down in the middle of the conversation when she was interrogated along with Showik Chakraborty.
You've raised the important point of sale and purchase and the repeated attempt to try and procure drugs, which is what sources are telling us. And it's the sale and purchase, Siddhant, that could well be the clincher, because where there is a sale, there's a money trail.
That's absolutely right, Padmaja. I'll tell you a story. While officers were grilling her, were interrogating her, she was giving a same reply. She was giving a same reply that she used to procure drugs for Sushant, and she has nothing to do as far as consumption of drugs are concerned. Now, when she got to know about the part that procuring drugs is a more serious offense than procuring for the consumption, so today, yesterday in the evening and today morning, she confessed that yes, she was also consuming drugs, not even marijuana, even chemicals also. So this has come in this statement. Now the fact here is, as far as the money trail is concerned, definitely those were the allegations of the family, and agency is also looking into the fact that where this money was coming from, who was paying the money to Showik or to Rhea Chakraborty to procure drugs for Sushant Singh Rajput or for herself, and what were the mode of payments. Now, it has also been found during a course of an investigation that credit cards and debit cards were used, and that to Sushant's credit cards and debit cards. Okay, there you see, convoy is coming, that is Rhea Chakraborty inside this convoy, and we'll put those visuals. You can see the speed of the vehicle, and Rhea Chakraborty is inside the car. So there you see Rhea Chakraborty, Suraj, there you see Rhea Chakraborty, she'll get down from the car. We'll try to get the visuals of Rhea. She'll get out of the car. We'll put the visuals for our viewers. Rhea Chakraborty. Okay, so that is Rhea Chakraborty. Rhea, will you speak to her? Those are the close shots of Rhea Chakraborty. We have tried speaking to her, but as always, she has refused to speak to her. So there you see Suraj. Suraj has given you those shots. Yes, we tried speaking to Rhea Chakraborty, but as always, she refused. So that was Rhea Chakraborty. Close shot we got for our viewers.
And that was Rhea Chakraborty, who has just brought in. Very soon now, the video conferencing will start. She will be produced before the magistrate for the remand. NCB is not going to oppose the remand. She will be sent to the judicial custody mainly. But we have also been told that her advocates have applied for a bail. That surely agency is going to oppose. Back to you.
Absolutely. Those are the first images that you saw of Rhea Chakraborty. She is there at the NCB office, the zonal office of the Narcotics Control Bureau. This is a building that you'll be very familiar with. This is the place where over the last 3 days, Rhea Chakraborty has been brought, taken to the 3rd floor, and as somebody who's tracked the interrogation over the last 3 days for all of the 18 hours, Siddhant explained to us exactly what will happen. With the security provided to Rhea Chakraborty, she'll be taken to the 3rd floor, and then there'll be a video conferencing. Will the NCB also be present? What exactly is the process? Siddhant.
Well, you see, as this case is a high-profile case, Mr. Sameer Wankhede is leading the team. So usually also we saw that how Mr. Wankhede used to be present during the remands of the other accused. Now in this also, in all likelihood, Mr. Wankhede will be present at the time of a remand during the video conferencing. We also saw Mr. Manish Shinde's junior getting inside the Narcotics Control Bureau's office, because since it is going to happen through video conferencing, Mr. Manish Shinde will also appear through video conferencing. So to do the setup of the video conferencing, they were there. Magistrate will be there. PP will be there, Mr. Manish Shinde will be there, and obviously accused Rhea Chakraborty will also be present there. Now, during this hearing, NCB will clearly say that they don't want remand. They have already done interrogation for 3 days. They have found whatever they wanted from Rhea Chakraborty. She can be sent to the judicial custody. Mostly in these cases, magistrate gives judicial custody immediately. Now, the time magistrate will announce judicial custody, they are going to move bail. Officially, they'll speak about the bail. The time they'll speak about the bail, Narcotics Control Bureau will oppose the bail on the grounds that the charges under the NDPS Act are really serious in nature. She was involved in procurement and trafficking of narcotics substance, and so she shall not be given bail immediately. So those will be the grounds on which NCB is going to oppose the bail. The NCB is also going to tell the court that she is not any ordinary consumer. She was associated with the cartel which was working in Bandra. Her brother is also into that, and her friends are also into that, and will share some more details about the interrogation. Now, after that, once NCB will oppose the bail, judge will hear and then will pronounce the order.
In a matter of a few minutes, it should happen. In all likelihood, Rhea Chakraborty is going to spend this night in the lockup on the 3rd floor of the building that you see right now. 2 days ago, we had told you that there is a makeshift lockup that had been sanitized, it had been cleaned out for Rhea Chakraborty in preparation. She has carried a small bag with her, presumably with linen, bed sheets, etc. And tonight will be spent in this lockup. What happens in that video conferencing? We'll get you those details. Before that, let me take a quick break and come back, even as that video conference will be set up. After 19 hours of cumulative questioning spread over a period of 3 days, Rhea Chakraborty arrested today in the afternoon, and this is an image of her from just minutes ago when she reached the NCB office in Mumbai, where currently, even as we speak, the bail hearing is underway. What will that entail? Let's try and get details of that from Mohit Sharma. All of our reporters tracking the various aspects. Yes, Mohit, what must be going on right now?
Well, Padmaja, what we can tell you right now is, first and foremost, there would be a proper court proceeding, which would essentially mean that the NCB would be producing Rhea Chakraborty in front of a judicial magistrate. Now, while this entire chain of events will happen virtually due to the ongoing pandemic, due to the ongoing COVID times, it is expected that, since the NCB does not want to take Rhea Chakraborty into custody, that has been made abundantly clear by the top officers here. Now, what will essentially happen is, if the judge finds it clear, he will send Rhea Chakraborty into judicial custody, and post which Rhea Chakraborty and her counsel will move a bail petition. If that gets rejected, she would be sent to judicial custody, and she would really most probably she would be spending the night here in the lockup, because she would not be taken to a jail as of now. That's what we understand at the moment. But definitely the court proceedings will be shortly begin, and the NCB would first and foremost produce Rhea Chakraborty in front of the court. They would try to submit a remand copy as well, tell the court as to why exactly has she been arrested, what kind of an evidence has been gathered, and why has she been really arrested. So all those are the kind of proceedings.
Tamal also has reached the ED office, the NCB office now, pardon me. And Tamal, what's important is that the NCB will not be seeking remand. Is there a possibility that she could actually be granted bail today itself?
Well, to my understanding, it's little difficult, purely because the first appearance is always a remand appearance. The bail hearing cannot coincide with the remand hearing. Remand hearing is part of the procedure when the investigating agency, having arrested one of the accused, will have to produce before the court, asserting that they have taken him into their custody, and produce before the court to in a way get the arrest validated. So basically the remand arrest or the remand production, which would now happen, cannot really coincide with the bail hearing. However, we, as a matter of fact, have been given a sense from the advocates who are working with Advocate Manasinde that they would be moving for bail application. As per the protocol, after the remand is over, its remand is validated, and she is being sent to judicial custody. Thereafter,
hold that thought, because this is an ongoing process. What is the outcome of that hearing? We'll keep coming back to you. In fact, we'll come back to you straight after this break on India Upfront. Tamal, Siddhant and Mohit, stay with me. Taking a quick break. I'll see you next at 10.